People are saying that JK and Winter and their relationship has been confirmed by SM. JK gets flooded with hate due to the recent dating rumors, and then people believe that HYBE recently came out to do something, and it's quite shocking. So Dumplings, it's David Josiah. Let's get into it. There seems to be a lot of internal fan wars within the community, and this is extremely shocking to me because the boys are about to come back, and instead of us rejoicing and being excited for that, it seems like a lot of people are more so fighting with each other, with a lot of people saying that the only members of the group that actually matter are JK and V, and those are the only people that tend to make noise when they do anything. I've seen so many people who are just fans of individual members of the group come out to say and defend their favorite member by saying so-and-so member does make a lot of noise and blah 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 and all that stuff. There is this whole debate about whether or not Jimin is someone who is someone that makes noise, with a lot of people speculating that HYBE recently dropped the dating rumor on JK's birthday, specifically in hopes that the Song and Jimin dating rumor would be forgotten or hidden due to the height of JK's birthday. Now, the statement or the press release of the alleged Jimin and Song dating rumor came out on August 31st for me, and I'm in the States. And of course, it's believed they likely released it in Korea, so it might have been a day later, which would have been JK's birthday. This is a little bit of a wild accusation, but it's an interesting one that I, of course, wanted to break down. What are the odds or chances that the label could drop a piece of news regardless of what the news is while something else is happening? So the headlines kind of cover that thing more than they cover anything else. This is where sometimes I don't necessarily believe when things happen that people tend to do other things to get people to focus on other things, because this situation with Jimin and his dating rumor as well as JK and his birthday would both be top stories for the day. In fact, news articles would probably write about both of them. The community has the capacity to focus on two different news stories at once, and this is also K-pop, so if something else doesn't pick up now, it would pick up later. These news stories aren't even that different because the two, Jimin and JK, have been correlated together a lot. This, of course, is going by if the statement that was allegedly released by HYBE was true. Other people have said things to say that Jimin's influence isn't good because they were saying that Jimin and RM tend to hang out with each other a lot. However, why was the show Jimin and JK? And they just did it with Jimin and JK. Why was it not Jimin and RM? Because they're together all the time. And I think that this is an interesting concept because there's many reasons why a label could potentially choose two people to do something together rather than another two. Picking the two people that are going to be the most marketable can make a lot of sense. There's obviously a big shipping fan service community that exists, and the label is obviously very aware that people would tune in to watch this show. But aside from that, the label also probably knew that the two were going to be enlisting together in the buddy system, so it's not as if the two didn't hang out together all the time. But you also have to look at the premise of the show that they were both in. It's not uncommon for members like RM or any of the rap line within BTS to be in a reality show, but they're typically in a reality show as a group. However, if you were to take a rap star and put them in this commercial pop reality show thing, and it's kind of seen in like a bubblegum thing where they're hanging out with each other, going on vacation, doing cutesy stuff, all that stuff that is in the show, that is something that would seem a little bit off-brand for a rapper. A pop star can probably get away with fan service or even gay dating rumors. I'm not saying necessarily that they are playing into this, but I'm saying that they could get away with having those speculations because they're a pop star. And those speculations can only help because they're said pop star. But a rapper or someone who is more in that type of space would not gain the same credibility if they were seen in that light. I hope that makes sense. So that's just my opinion on that. I don't know how true that is or any of it is. Those are just my thoughts. It's interesting because, as I said, I was seeing more and more hate coming out, and it's very interesting to have everyone fight right now as they are trying to make a comeback. And I don't know if this was something that the members expected was going to happen. I think the members thought that as the members were doing solo activities, it would only strengthen the community to love each other or to be more excited for the comeback. But I think instead it's made a lot of the community hate this idea that BTS is coming back as a group, as they only want the members to be doing solo stuff. But if you are someone who respects the group and loves each member, then I hope you would respect them as a group, because that's clearly what they want to do. JK was recently getting a lot of hate on his Instagram account, and this is not his personal one that he just opened, but the one with his dog. Now, what I'm about to say is a little bit of a speculation. It's believed that V and JK and the shipping community surrounding that were trying to debunk the Jimin and JK shipping community. So one way they did this, and one way they tried to get Jimin out of the running, is to say that Jimin and Song were in fact confirmed to be dating, or the fact that they had dated, essentially saying that Jimin is straight and has no interest in dating a man. In order for the community to cope or get back at the V and JK shipping community for doing that, they allegedly decided to leave a bunch of comments on JK's dog's Instagram account, basically pretending to be Winter and JK shipping accounts or fan pages and promoting the two of them dating. So then ultimately that takes JK out of the running, and it's their way of trying to say, well, that if Jimin and JK is unreal, then neither ship is real. And it's quite clear that some of the comments are also upset. It's not even just that they are trying to root for JK and Winter to be together, but they are actually seemingly upset at it. With some people leaving the comment that JK used to be the servant for ARMY or the community and now is a servant for Winter. I'm not sure if he took some sort of oath or something like that, that he was meant to dedicate his entire life to a community, because literally no celebrity does that. The comment goes as far as to say, well, now that he's rich, he doesn't owe the community anything, or he doesn't feel like he owes the community anything. This is such an insane take, and I really can't believe people have this mindset, because on the flip side, if JK made music that you didn't like, if he was not as great of a dancer or just wasn't as handsome maybe, a lot of people would not be leaving these comments. A lot of people would not be that upset that he would be dating someone else. And this isn't to say that the entire community is very vain or shallow. Very clearly they're not. But if they bring up the point that he is using the community for money, then their mind is already at this place where they believe he is really shallow, saying he only cares about money. So it's clear that these people don't see JK past those things that I just mentioned either. People are also bringing up moments to prove that Winter and JK were indeed in a relationship, with moments and clips from behind the scenes footage that SM posted or recorded that showed Winter talking about how she was nervous, and allegedly that was the same concert or same day that JK had allegedly attended and was in the audience for, implying that obviously this moment was her being nervous because she was about to perform in front of JK. Yes and no. I mean, she definitely could be nervous, but I think some people aren't aware of how some things can happen at concerts and what the PR team does for concerts. So let me explain that first. I also want to reiterate that we don't know if JK paid for the tickets or not, or if he got them under his manager, or if he got free tickets, but let's say he got free tickets, which is typically how a lot of stars do it, because it's how they would get tickets, right? Because otherwise it would be them having to queue through like Ticketmaster or whatever, and then they wouldn't be able to get those tickets because they would sell out so quickly. So chances are those tickets were likely gifted to him. This is something that the PR team typically does. So they do it with a lot of influencers. I've been invited to sit at like Blackpink's concert and stuff like that and be at a VIP booth and whatever. But I've said many times before, I don't really like concerts, so I didn't go. And typically what a lot of influencers and even celebrities do is post about the event. And that of course drums up more attention for the artist on stage. So for example, you have people like Harry Styles inviting many different celebrities to his concerts, right? So the same day that we saw BTS was at Harry Styles' concert, Lizzo was also there. Like, they're obviously not paying for tickets. They were obviously gifted. So that is a PR move that a publicist will do to try to get high profile people there, so it drums up more attention for the concert. The fact of the matter is JK was visible, right? A lot of people knew that he was there even though he was covered up. People knew exactly where to look for some reason too. But also, of course, I want to reiterate that if JK is there, then likely other celebrities were there too, or there might have been celebrities that happened to be at the show prior or the show after. Who knows? And thus there is of course something to be nervous about, because now your peers are judging you. And it's the people who understand music. They understand the dancing. They're judging you and looking at things more critically and more from a technical perspective than it would be for someone who doesn't know about these things. So that's just my theory as to why she was nervous. I don't know for sure what it could be. I also want to quickly just add this point here at the end, which is that we've talked about previously JK's tattoo artist allegedly posting a photo of JK taking a picture with his cell phone showing a Jimin and JK ship photo on the phone case. So apparently that photo was not taken by JK, that was taken by the tattoo artist. He has addressed that was not his phone, but it was client's phone. But it was his client's phone. So apparently that's actually what happened. It was not photoshopped or anything like that. So I want to clarify that. But either way, this then makes a lot of sense, right? It's not the tattoo artist confirming anything. It was not the tattoo artist's phone. It was a client who likely was a huge BTS fan and then booked a tattoo session with that artist. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you check out Patreon. I'll leave a link at the top of the description. Thank you so much for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.